Hey, Shalom.
Shalom.
We are the GMS Memphis count. Come back with a Precamp. So before we get started, we want to give our praises, honor, glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wachak and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach what well. Peace and love to the elect. So hey, we're going to get into it, just going in on Jacob and Esau. That basically that's what it is, man. This is what the Bible basically consists of. Mainly Jacob, because that's who the blessing, the promises were given to, unto Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. And right now, we're in this man blessing now, and on the Esau Edom. We in Esau kingdom. And Esau blessing is our curses. So we're going to get
This is Genesis 25 and 23. It says, or let me start at 21. It says, and Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren. Yep. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived.
Yep. Hey, so she was pregnant. She was pregnant with twins, basically. Go ahead.
And the children struggled together within her.
Right, they were fighting. They were, basically what it was. Struggling, fighting, man. Go ahead.
And she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
Yep.
And she went to inquire of the Lord.
Yep.
And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. 2 nations are in thy womb.
Right, 2 nations are in that womb.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
Right, 2 manner of people should be separated from their bowels, man. 2 totally different people, man. 2 nations, man. They not the same, because whenever you see twins, they on one accord. They dress the same, they act the same, But now in this case, there's 2 manner of people, man. 2 different total nations.
Yeah, 2 different spirits.
2 different spirits.
Yeah, because when you go into that word manner, that's where you get the word mannerism from. How they carry themselves and how they conduct themselves. So he said, the Lord said, it's 2 completely different mannerisms of people.
Yeah, hey, came from the same seed though. The same father, same mother. But the Lord said, hey, it's still 2 different kind of spirits in there, man. In your womb. That's why they fight. That's why they can't get along, man. Go ahead.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
Right, the one people should be stronger than the other people. And that one people is going to Jacob. Yashiala, the so-called blacks, Spanish, Latinos, and Native American Indians, man. And also to the Israelite foreigners, man. Jacob, go ahead.
It says,
there's no point.
And the elders shall serve the younger.
Right, and the elders shall serve the younger. And this was already, what was that, predestined. This is prophecy, man. Because she's still pregnant at the time, Right?
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
Right, twins in her womb, go ahead.
And the first came out red all over, like an hairy garment.
So the first one came, read again.
And the first came out red.
And the first came out red.
All over, like an hairy garment.
Like a hairy garment. And that's the elder, go ahead.
And they called his name Esau.
Called his name Esau, man. So Esau is our big brother. Let's Uncle E.
Yeah.
He was red. You gotta think about it, because back then everybody had pigment, had melanated. Everybody was dark skin that time. You see? One thing he didn't have what's the way he treat? Go ahead.
It says, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel.
Right, which is who? Jacob, go ahead.
And his name was called Jacob.
And his name was called Jacob. So Esau came out first, and Jacob came out holding the heel of Esau. Meaning what? Symbolic of pulling this man down. Transition of power, man.
Yeah. It says, and his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bare him.
Right, see?
I'm going to read verse 27. It It says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter.
Yeah, this how you can tell whose spirit it is, you know. He said Esau was a cunning hunter.
And another word for cunning is like crafty. And that's how Esau operates today. Whenever he hunts for something, he can't just, do it, do it regularly. He covers himself in the animal's urine and will bait them out with a decoy, and he's crafty with it. But whenever Jake goes out and hunts, hey man, he just fish regularly.
Just fish.
Yeah, fish. See an animal, shoot an animal. But it says a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents.
Right, they weren't plain. I forgot the Hebrew word, but it go back into complete. You know? You look it up for me? So it said Esau was a cunning hunter in the field. This is how you can tell who Esau or not. Cause Esau loves to hunt. They got what's the duck hunt and shit like that, man. They want to go skydiving. All type of bullshit. Well, Jake, you want to chill at home, probably play 2K and drink a beer or something. So something simple, man. That's Jacob. You got it. No, bootleggers be bullshit.
It says perfect, complete. The Hebrew word is tom.
Tom.
Yep.
So it says perfect, complete.
Complete, perfect, one who lacks nothing in physical strength.
Hey,
and that's melanin too.
Yep.
He wasn't lacking anything. He had everything. But Esau, he was described as red because he was lacking that pigmentation. So he wasn't a plain man because he was lacking. And also, not only melanin, but mainly, he was lacking the spirit.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing that you can lack.
Yeah, the spirit. What it say, lacking physical strength?
Yeah, lacks nothing in physical strength.
What is that? One nation should be stronger than the other nation. Well, that's Jacob. Jacob.
Well, it says complete, morally innocent, having integrity.
Innocent.
One who is morally and ethically pure.
Like Jacob, man. That's the holy seed, holy nation, pure, man.
Psalms, what is that? Psalms 183. Think about I'm not dealt so with any other nation before the This is Psalms 147 and 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
Yep.
He hath not dealt so with any nation.
Right, we know any nation, we're not with the Chinese, the Moabites, the Africans, none of those, man. He only dealing with the nation of Israel. That's all. Right?
He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them.
Right, the other nations, they don't know the Lord. They don't know the Lord's judgment. They don't know the law, statutes, commandments. That's why they eat squid, octopus and shit. And so on, man. You got it?
It says, praise ye the Lord Yahweh.
Right, praise ye the Lord Yahweh Shemashah, man. Get back in Jacob.
Yeah, that is it in the 25th chapter. I was going to grab Romans 9.
Okay, come on, you grab. I'm going to just go to the blessings.
Okay. So 27. This is Romans 9 and 7. says, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Because Abraham had Isaac and Ishmael.
Yep.
You know? But, you know, the angel said, look, hey, Isaac is the one that whose birthright is going to be. It says, that is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of the Most High, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed.
Well, children of the promise.
Jacob. It says, for this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And so this is the Apostle Paul breaking down what we just read in Genesis the 25th chapter.
Yep.
And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High's according to election might stand.
Like everything preordained, predestinated. You know? And you read that again from the top.
Yeah,
They just said before they done good or evil. Because the Most High would have set it up that way. The Most High would have set it up that Jacob is going to get the birthright, which we are going to get, man. You know?
Really, before Rebekah even knew she had twins.
Yeah,
He was like, the Lord broke it down to her. It's like, look, you have two nations in thy womb. One's going to be, you know, stronger than the other, and one's going to serve, you know, the youngest is going to, or the oldest is going to serve the youngest.
Yeah.
So it's according to the Lord's promise. It says, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High, according to election, might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
You read that again from the top.
Yeah, it was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger.
Right, which we just brought out in Genesis, you know, the 25th chapter, man. And Apostle Paul just basically breaking down the Old Testament about what's happening, man. You know? Yeah.
It says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
Right. Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated, man. And this is in the Bible. That the Lord loves and he hates, man. That's plain and simple, man. You know?
It says, what shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High? The Most High forbid.
Like the Most High forbid. Meaning, of course not. Hell no. You see, because the Most High can do whatever he want to do, man. He the Most High. You know? Like I said, I get this for you. So what? Okay, good to the computer. Okay, what's up? No, before we get, I'm just going to get split. Okay. The Genesis 27, I'm going to start at 1. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old, his eyes were dim so that he could not see, he called Esau, his eldest son, and said unto him, my son, and he said unto him, behold, here am I.
Yeah, so, you know, it is a custom for whenever you're up in age, you give your sons an inheritance. And usually the way it went back then was you give the oldest son more of the inheritance because he took on the responsibility of taking care of the family after the father passed. So when Isaac was up in age, it was about that time, you know, his senses were, you know, going away from him. And, you know, his memory was probably getting a little foggy. So he said, all right, it's about that time where I need to, you know, give my sons their blessing.
Yeah, you know, give my other sons the blessing. Because that's how it was. That's how it was in the ancient world. That the elder son, the older son, inherit the throne, basically. You know. So this Genesis 27 and 2. And he said, "Behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field and take me some business, and make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die." Hold on, wait. You ain't finished 25. Nope, you ain't finished 25.
Okay, sorry.
It's all good. It's Genesis 25, you jump back, you know, Genesis 25, you know, 27. It said, after that came his brother, so like, I'm 26. Genesis 27, no, Genesis 25 and 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he didn't eat of his business, but Rebekah loved Jacob.
Yeah, so that's how you know it's not according to Isaac's will either.
Yeah.
Because, hey, Isaac favored Esau, but the Most High didn't favor Esau. Although the Most High favored Isaac, he didn't favor him favoring Esau.
Yeah, yeah, because you look at it today, who are mama boys? Jacob.
Yeah.
Who are, you know, who love their daddy so much? Esau, man.
Yeah.
You know, these people on the tribes, they really are mama boys, man. This goes back to the Bible, man, on why, you know? So it say, 29, and Jacob saw pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint, you know?
Because he was spending all day trying to get something, but hey, the Most High had it to where he couldn't catch nothing.
Yeah. There goes back to Cain, you know, and you cut shit with deep, you know?
Yeah.
You can see. So 29, and Jacob saw pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom.
Yeah, so Esau wanted an uncooked meat, you know? And that was against the law. And the law existed back then. It was just, you know, done orally.
Yeah.
You know, Isaac probably, you know, brought them up, bringing them into the law, statutes, and commandments, but it was by oral tradition. It wasn't written, you know, in a book yet.
I'm going to read this again. Genesis 25 and 30. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. I mean, he was tired. He couldn't catch nothing and be out there in the field hunting and getting nothing, you know? So he just said, Jacob, can you feed me, man? I'm hungry, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, this is Leviticus 17 and 11. For the life of the flesh is in the blood.
For the life of the flesh is in the blood. You ain't supposed to be eating uncooked meat. You know, if it's still bloody, hey, you gotta cook it till it's done. You know, and this is why we can tell who are Edomites, man. How you like your steak? You see?
It says, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls.
Yep. So that's the point. It said, therefore was his name called Edom, that red pottage, you know? Esau loved red uncooked steaks, man.
Yeah, here's the verse 12 is the law. Leviticus 17 and 12. It says, therefore I said unto the children of Israel, no soul of you shall eat blood.
Shall eat blood.
Neither shall any stranger that sojourneth among you eat blood.
You're not supposed to be eating nothing but blood, man. You know? It's plain and simple. So this Genesis 25 and 31. And Jacob said, sell me this day that birthright. So Jacob was like, shit, if you want some of this, you gotta send me the birthright, man. Basically what it was. You know, Jacob was finesse. And that's Jacob's spirit anyway. It's to plant and try to finesse and try to get over you, man. You know?
But it was prophesied to happen anyway.
Yeah.
So Jacob was justified in doing it. Just like it's prophesied for us to rule the kingdom of heaven. Hey, anybody over us is going to have to be supplanted. You know, and right now it's Esau Edom, just like the prophecy said.
Yeah, hey. Right.
That Jacob is going to overtake Esau. Starting with Yahweh Shai.
Yeah.
You know?
Because this was like a deal, so to speak. I give you this, you give me that then, in return. It's a trade, basically. So this is what Jacob was doing. He was making a trade for some uncooked meat for your birthright. So it says, Genesis 25 and 31. And Jacob said, send me this day that birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. What profit shall this birthright do to me?
Yeah, and see, and that's how you know Esau didn't have the spirit. Because if he did have integrity, moral integrity, he would know what his birthright really was about. But Jacob knew, and that's why he wanted that birthright.
Yeah, Jacob knew already. And Jacob said, swear to me this day, and he swear unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. So Jacob didn't steal the birthright. Esau sold it to Jacob.
Yeah. He was the first one to sell his soul to the devil. But
Yeah.
it was really himself. He was pleasing his carnal
Lust.
yeah.
He was pleasing his flesh. The first sellout is Esau. That's why he got our people selling out. You know? So he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. And he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. So Esau despised his birthright by giving away. All Esau had to do was wait. Or wait till he got to the fucking house to cook himself. You know? Somebody he about to die. You know? But in the kingdom of heaven, he gonna learn how to fast, man. You know?
And it says that he despised his birthright.
Yeah.
Meaning hate. That's what that word despise means. It means to hate or loathe it.
Yeah.
So not only did he didn't want it, man. Point blank period.
He didn't want the birthright at that time. But hey, we gonna get into it.
But this is Psalms 50 and 17. It says, seeing thou hatest instruction and casteth... Let me start up a bit.
16.
Yeah, this is Psalms 50, verse 16. It says, but unto the wicked, which is Esau, the Most High saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes?
Right, because you got this man Esau swear in on the Bible. He said he loved the Lord and went through.
Or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth.
Right. Right.
You know, them trying to pretend to be Jews, those fake gutter rat Jews over there right now. You know? They try to take the covenant. But verse 17, it says, seeing thou hatest instruction and casteth my words behind thee. Which means they despise this word. Just like he despised his birthright, he despises this word. Because this word condemns him from the get-go. You know? And it's all according to the Lord's election. You know, it's all according to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai's will. You know? Before they were born doing any good or evil, the Most High set it up to where Esau was going to be condemned. Matter of fact, I'll get that in Malachi. It's no, in Malachi where it says, for Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
One. Start with Malachi 1:1.
This is Malachi chapter 1 and 1. It says, the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us?
Cause that's how Jake feel, man. You know, like, man, the Lord don't love us. You know, we still at the bottom. You know, we still catch the hill. We struggling. You know, cops still killing us. You know, and what to do? We in the hood, we in the ghetto. But the Lord said, yet I love you, man. What?
It says, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother?
Yep.
Saith the Lord, yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau.
Yet I love Jacob, and I love, yet I love Jacob, and I hated Esau, man.
And laid his mountains as his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness.
Yep. So,
Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places.
yeah, that's when evil come into the Renaissance, man. We up, right?
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down,
Yep.
and they shall call them the border of wickedness.
Right, that's the wicked. They should call them the border of wickedness, which is Esau, Edom, the Edomites. Right?
And the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
Right, against whom the Lord had indignation forever. You see?
I'll
Go
look at
back to
that.
Romans, the 9th chapter, man, which Paul was quoting. You see? Paul was saying the same thing as the Old Testament was saying. The New Testament is saying the same thing as the Old Testament is saying. That the blessing, that's the kingdom of heaven, that salvation is for the children of Israel, man. You know?
Let me get that word, indignation. This is the Hebrew word for indignation, za'am, which means to denounce, express indignation, be indignant, to have indignation. Hold on. Yeah, to express. Okay, here's a point. To express indignation in speech, denounce, curse.
Curse. Ooh, hold on, I got something.
Be angrily indignant, be defiant. Be enraged, abhorred, abominable. You know, so you get the point, man. The Most High has indignation towards Esau forever. He was created to be like the spiritual punching bag for his anger. You know how, like, you know, you get worked up sometimes and you need something to release your anger out on. Yeah. So you might, you know, invest in, you know, some boxing gloves and a dummy or in a punching bag to release your anger. Well, hey, the Most High invested in Esau Edom to do that. He created the wicked just so he could destroy them.
Yeah, Proverbs 16:4. But this song for you, this is Sirach 33. And I'm gonna start in I'm gonna get straight to the point. I'm gonna start at 12. So Sirach 33 and 12. Some of them, I'm gonna start at 10. Like, this is Sirach 33 and 12. 33 and 10. And all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. And much knowledge the Lord had divided them and made their ways diverse. Some of them had he blessed and exalted, and some of them had he sanctified and set near himself. But some of them had he cursed and brought low and turned out their places.
Yep. So some he blessed, which is going into the Israelites.
Yep.
And some have he cursed, which is going into these Edomites.
Yeah. That's in the nation. Lord can do that, man. Lord bless a specifically nation, which is Yasharala, Jacob, the Israelites, and he have the cursed nation. You know? Let me say, it's the clay, it's in the potter's hand to fashion it in his pleasure. So man is in the hand of him that made him, to winner to them is liking him best. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly, man. So you got Jacob versus Esau. The righteous against the unrighteous. The godly against the ungodly, man. You know? That's plain and simple. It say, so look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are 2 and 2, one against another. You know? So this back in Genesis 27:1. And it came to pass that when his eyes was old, his eyes were dim so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son and said unto him, unto him, my son. And he said unto him, behold him I. And he said, behold, now I am old, I know not the day of my death. No, therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field and take me some business, and make me some savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. So this Isaac was trying to bless Esau. Let's continue. It said, and Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for a business and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau their brother, saying, bring me business and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless thee before the Lord before my death. Now therefore, it said, now therefore my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to thy flock and fetch me from thence two good kids of the goats that will make them savory meat for thy father such as he loved it. So that was basically trying to help Jacob with the blessing, man. Which you gotta remember, Esau sold Jacob, the blessing. Esau gave the blessing away. So why is he still trying to get the blessing? Why did he just tell his father at that same time that he sold the blessing?
If Esau had any integrity, he would have been straight up.
Straightforward.
He would have went to his father and said, oh no, I sold it to Jacob.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
but he doesn't have any integrity, nor does he have a repentant spirit. Yep. Because, if Jake were to do that, he would feel some type of way afterwards. He'd be like, look, he'd be like, look, I'm sorry, like I sold it, I was really hungry, I wasn't thinking, and man up and take it.
Yeah, Jake would have repented, but Esau didn't repent. You can tell, but he still went out to the field, and tried to feed his father to get the blessing still.
Yeah.
So back in Genesis 27:10, it said, and thou can bring it to thy father that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, behold, Esau, my brother, is a heavy man, and I am a smooth man. You can tell, Because whenever Esau, a so-called white man, be born, they come out red, you can see their hair more. A lot of times they are hairy.
Yeah. We got hairy chests and hairy arms and legs.
Yep. And verse 12, my father pre-adventure will fill me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me and not a blessing. So Jacob was already in a repentant mindset, like, man, I don't know if I should do this, man. I don't want to see my father. You see? And Rebekah, and his mother said unto him, upon me be thy curse. My son only obey my voice and go fetch me down. So Rebekah was with Jacob getting a blessing, man.
Yeah, because she had to remind him, hey, look, the Lord said, promised it for it to be this way.
Yeah, she already knew what was going on, but Jacob didn't know what was said to her.
Right. So
she was like, look, just obey my voice,
Yeah.
So 14, he went and fetched and brought them to his mother, and his mother made a savory meat such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which was what? So like Genesis 27:25. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob, her younger son, and she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands and upon the smooth of his neck.
Yeah. So he put the that fur, his fur skins on. So when it,
Like
a disguise,
yeah.
as a disguise.
So basically, Rebecca was dressing Jacob to make it seem like he was Esau. You know? It's 17. And she gave the savor meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And it came unto his father and said, My father. And he said, Here am I, who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, that firstborn. I have done according as thou hast bade me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my business, that thy soul might bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord that power brought it to me. So Jacob already was supplanted, man. Look, the Lord just gave it to him, man. That's how fast it was. You know? And Isaac said, let me bring that too. He said, and Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be very son or Esau or not.
Yeah, so Isaac had, he was suspicious. He was like, all right, if you're really Esau, I'm just, let me feel you, see how hairy you are.
Yeah. And Jacob went, he said, and Jacob went near to Isaac his father, and fed him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau.
Yeah, it's like, you sound like Jacob, but you feel like Esau. So.
And he discerned him not because his hands were heavy. It's his brother Esau's hands, so he blessed him. You gotta understand that Isaac, he really conceived. His business was bad. So he said, look, your hands, you feel like Esau, so I'm gonna bless you, And he said, Art thou my very son Esau? Yeah, he asked him again to be sure. And he said, I am. And he said, Break it near to me, and I will eat of my son's business, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. He brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him. He smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field, which the Lord had blessed. But you know that Esau, be smelling like outside of wood, man.
Yeah.
It smell like the field, So therefore, this going to the blessings, the birthright that the Lord, that Isaac about to bless, Jacob did. Jacob supplanted, 28. Therefore the Most High gave thee of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth, plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curses thee, and blessed be he that blesses thee.
So that's a blessing given to Jacob, whose name later changed to Israel, was the progenitors of the nation of Israel.
Yep. It said, it came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce going out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau, his brother, came in from his hunting. You know how intense that had to be? So your father thinking about blessing you, here come Esau walking in the door. You know how long it took? You gotta think about it. His mother made the food, dressed him up, then his father blessed. You know how long that'd be? That means Esau was in the field for a long ass time, man, trying to hunt, trying to get some food, man. And he finally walked in, And 31, and he also had made a savor of meat and brought it. And brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, Let my father rise and eat of his son's business, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac, his father, said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. So Esau was still looking for the birthright blessing, man.
You Even though he sold it to Jacob, he was still trying to finesse Jacob.
Yep. And it's saying Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, Who? What is he that had taken visions and brought it to me? And I have eaten of all before they came and have blessed him. Yeah, and he shall be blessed. Look, I ought to bless him, and he's going to be blessed. I gave him the word, man. I can't take the word back. You know? Then it said, and when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, on my father.
Yeah, so he started crying like a bitch.
Yep. What that is?
Hebrews. I got it.
You got it?
Yeah. This is Hebrews 12, and I'll start at 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected.
He was rejected. Right? He despised it. He was rejected. No place of repentance for Esau, so like slip of the tongue, man. Right?
For he found no place of repentance, through he sought it carefully with tears.
That's what we're reading about. He started crying like a hoe.
Yeah, and then the side note in the 1611 King James Bible, it says place of repentance can be substituted with a way to change his mind. So so in other words, you can read it as, for he found no way to change his mind, through he sought it carefully with tears. So he wasn't going to change his mind in selling his birthright.
Yeah.
You know, he was wicked from the start. Because the Most High created him to be the wicked.
Yep. So this Genesis 27:34. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, my father. And he said, That brother came with subtlety, he had taken away that blessing. So basically, was trying to tell his father that he stole the blessing from me. He stole the birthright. It said, and he said, It is not his rightly named Jacob, but he had supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he had taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou now reserved a blessing for me? So Esau was still looking for that blessing, man. You know? Yep. Bring it out, man. It said, Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him that Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him. For servants and with corn, wine have I sustained him. What shall I do now unto thee, my son?
Yeah, so Isaac was telling him, like, it's like, shit, man, like, I already gave Jacob everything.
Yeah.
I gave him all his brothers, you know, all the other nations to be his servants.
Yep.
You know, I gave him that everlasting birthright. You know, the kingdom of heaven. It's like, what else can I give you?
Yep. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, on my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. He still didn't repent. And Isaac his father answered and said to him, Behold, thy brethren shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above, and by that sword shall they live, and shall serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
Yeah. So that's going into Esau's temporary blessing. You know, it says that he'll obtain the fatness of the earth, which he did, and that he's going to live by the sword, which he does to this day.
Yep.
And all the way up until he gets taken out of power, he's going to use that sword.
And this lets you know we're in this man blessing now. You know, hey, you get that, I think Micah 2:1. Couple of bit about that. Because Esau blessings that sword, man. You know?
This is Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence.
Right, take them by violence. Look what he did to the so-called natives. You know? Right?
And houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
Right, look at all the sanctions he put on the other nations. He set up shop everywhere. He covered fields by violence, man. You know, this man Esau blessing to this day. And he ruling with that sword, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Says he oppresses people in their own land, in their own heritage. You know? And he does it by diplomatically, and whenever that doesn't work, that's when he comes in with his sword and justifies it in the name of liberation. But that's his craftiness, man.
Yep. I mean, this Romans 13:4. For he is the minister of the Most High to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid, for he bear not the sword in vain. So Esau don't have these swords in vain. He don't have these nuclear missiles in vain, man. They ain't just sending up, for decoration. Yeah. He gonna use it, man. So this back in Genesis 27. What was that? Like 38. And Esau said, no. Genesis 27:39, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, that dwelleth to be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above, and by that sword shall thou live, and answer of thy brother, and it's going to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning of my father are in hand, then when I slay my brother Jacob.
Yeah. So, the Most High also created Esau to be the destroyer of Israel.
Yep.
Now he was set up to be the whooping stick for the nation of Israel.
Yeah.
For whenever we went off.
Yep. I get Psalm 17:19. Yeah, we just brought out Romans the 13th chapter. He fearing not in vain. He didn't sword not in vain.
This is Psalm 17:13. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword.
Right, the wicked is the whooping stick for the nation of Israel. The sword, man. Hey, Carl, talk about it. Go ahead. Well, that's it on that, man.
I can keep it.
Go.
It says, from men, which are thy hand, O Lord.
Right, because the Most High used Esau Edom to punish us, man. That's why we went into captivity.
The scriptures also say, the Lord dwelleth in the kingdom of men. Roughly paraphrasing. Or he ruleth in the kingdom of men. So even though Esau's in power, the Lord is still in control.
Yeah.
It says, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life, in whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure, they are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes.
Yeah. Yeah, because the Most High, like the brother say, he ruled in the kingdom of man, But the Most High sit up. That's why you go to Romans the 13th chapter. People talking about, obey the government, with the wolf, but it's to say obey the Most High rather than men. Yeah, we can stop the stop signs, stop lights, but if we come down to the microchip, you're not supposed to take it, man. So you got it.
Yeah, when it comes down to denouncing our faith, we're not doing all that, man.
Yeah.
Hey, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men.
You listen to the higher, what the higher power, Esau Edom, to a certain degree, man. You know? If he has one, hey, cause you can stop eating pork, man. You know? You got
This is Ezekiel 35 and 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast...
This perpetual hatred goes back to Jacob and Esau. Like he just said, then when I slay my brother Jacob, you know, he hates Jacob. The so-called white man. That's why you see so much enmity between the so-called blacks and the so-called whites. You know, so much hatred. That's why we was with the, you know, two man of people in that room. We would never get along, man. To this day, we would always have that hatred towards one another, man. This goes back to Jacob and Esau, man. You know, and even the kingdom will be the same way. Till Esau done away with, man. You know, this that perpetual hatred. This hatred goes back to biblical times, man, ancient times, man. You know,
because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword.
By the force of the sword. Go ahead.
In the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
Right, because we serve our punishment. We went into hardcore bondage, slavery, man. We did all that. But like I said in Jeremiah 15:33, he refused to let us go. We are yet this day in our captivity. We still are subject to payments. We still got to pay taxes. You know, and so on, man.
And also, he took that captivity too far.
Took it too far. Yep.
Because there's a certain way that you're supposed to deal with slaves.
Yep.
Or servants.
Yep.
It says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood,
Yep.
and blood shall pursue thee.
Yep.
Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
Yep.
Yeah. So because Esau, you know, has done wickedly when we went into servitude under him, you know, we have to reward him double.
Yep. This is let me get this to set up. This is Numbers. What's that? 35? Numbers 35 and 33. So you should not pollute the land where you are, for blood it defileth the land in their hand. So like in the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
Yeah, because you know you know you're not supposed to murder anybody, you know.
Yep.
Because murdering is killing without a cause. But if you do kill someone, it better be because they broke a commandment. You know, this is talking about ancient days. This is how, you know, Israel operated in the ancient days. We're not condoning you to go out and kill people because they broke the law, statutes, and commandments.
Yeah. You're not expedient.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it said the blood cannot be cleansed. And how was this land taken? How was America taken? By rape, rob, and murder.
Yeah.
You know? So this is the only way this place can be cleansed, man, by the blood of him that shed it. You know? Let's plain and simple. Go ahead,
This is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
Right, shame is covering him, man. You know? When they say that glory is turned to shame, man, Habakkuk, what's the paraphrasing, man? You can jump to 15.
This is Obadiah 1 and 15.
Oh, wait. Yeah, 15, go ahead.
For the day of the Lord is near upon all heathen.
Wait, all the heathens, go ahead.
As thou hast done, this shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head.
Yep, go ahead.
For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall be swallowed down, and they shall be as though they have not been.
Right, because that cup is going to slavery. That's the cup, slavery, man. All the heathens, Jeremiah 30:16, every nation, if your spirit goes to go back to Israelite, you got to drink of that cup. It's not a black or white thing, man. You know, your spirit goes back to the nation of Israel, Yasharala. You know, you're going to be a slave in the kingdom of heaven. Thus said the Bible, man. All the heathens gonna have to drink of their cup, man. Cause we all went to captivity. Y'all had a hand in our downfall. Psalms the 3rd chapter tell us that. You know? So all our enemies gonna have to drink of their cup. You know? Keep going.
But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance.
All right, what's another name for Mount Zion? Israel. Like I say in Romans the 11th chapter, 11:26. You know? Always wants to be saved. Go ahead.
And there should be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possession.
Right, because that's what the blessing is for. Every nation gonna bow down to Jacob. Y'all should all stand with our king, our big brother, Yahweh Shah, man. You know? Go ahead.
In the house of Jacob shall be a fire, in the house of Joseph a flame.
What's what? The two kingdoms, the north and the south. You know? Go ahead.
In the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them.
So Esau gonna be done away with. This is Esau future judgment. This is Esau future, man. That after he served his 1,000 years of hardcore bondage, he's had done away with. You know? He ain't coming back. You know? What you got? You go.
And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken.
Right, not one going to make it in the kingdom of heaven, man. Esau would not be saved, man. It's saying on Book of Psalms 119, 155, salvation is far from the wicked. You see? Esau not going to make it, man. It say that in Isaiah the 14th chapter, man. That he cut out, hey, you grab that, you know, Isaiah 14 and 21?
Yep.
Come on, man. That's it. What you hear, though? Second Ezra 6.
3.
Okay, go ahead.
This is 2nd Ezra 3 and 13. Now when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them, whose name was Abraham.
Yep.
Him thou lovest, and unto him only thou showest thy will, and madest an everlasting covenant with him, promising him that thou wouldest never forsake his seed.
Which is going to Abraham, Isaac, go ahead.
And unto him thou gavest Isaac.
See?
And
The
unto
Bible breaking down their lineage, breaking down their seed. Go ahead.
and unto Isaac also thou gavest Jacob and Esau.
Gave it Jacob and Esau. Now I'm finna get into which one did the Lord love, which we already brought out. Go ahead.
And as for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee,
So this that chosen
and put by Esau.
and put by Esau. We're going to end the nation, which means what? To denounce. You know, so the Lord denounced Esau as for getting the blessing, man. He rejected. Esau was rejected, you know, for the blessing, man. You know?
And so Jacob became a great multitude.
So Jacob became the great multitude. Go ahead. That's why you get this. What like you say, Jacob is the sand of the sea. Yeah, you got Jacob everywhere, man. That's why I say try the spirit by the spirit. Because Jacob look like Chinese people, Africans, Arabs, so-called white people. Hey, that's the tails and the weeks, man. It's all about the spirit at the end of the day. Is it more on it?
I'm just gonna grab this real quick. This is Genesis 35 and 10. It says, and the Most High said unto him, thy name is Jacob, and thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name.
Right, this one Jacob was fighting the angel, you know? So Jacob really supplanted the angel basically, man. He changed his name to Israel. Yashala, man.
And he called his name Israel. And the Most High said unto him, I am the Most High Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee.
To be of thee.
And kings shall come out of thy loins.
Right.
Yeah, so it breaks it down that promise was, it didn't stop at Abraham, because the plantation Christianity churches, they try to make it seem that Abraham was the father of all nations. We all go back to Abraham. But what they fail to teach and or realize is that there is a chosen that came out of Abraham. And it's passed down to Isaac and passed down to Jacob. And Jacob was the chosen to be the multitude. You know, the majority on earth, so to speak. You know, it says, a nation and a company of nations shall be of thy loins. Meaning, the nation of Israel is made up of technically 12 tribes, which each tribe can be its own nation.
Yeah.
You break down the tribe of Gad, which consists of the North American Indians, and they had innumerable tribes within the tribe of Gad. That's just showing you how fruitful and the Israelites are. Ephraim, that means fruitful.
Yeah, because each nation is a tribe, man. It's a tribe in itself, man.
Yeah, because Ephraim are the so-called Puerto Ricans today. But how many Puerto Ricans do you know that live outside of that island? It's a shit ton, man. Whether it be North America, South America, or all the way across the globe, man.
Yeah.
And that's just one tribe. We're talking about 12 tribes, bro.
Yeah, it's one tribe. Cause what is name? I am fruitful. Hey, they popping out there.
Yeah.
Real quick, right here.
This is Galatians 3:16. And now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. And he said not to the seeds as of many.
Right, not unto the seeds with an S, unto many. Because Abraham, has had Isaac and Ishmael, man. Go ahead.
And as of many, but as of one.
But it's a one. That one seed was going to Isaac. So Isaac would see the same blessing that Abraham had. So Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. And y'all Christians fail to realize that y'all trying to replace the nation of Israel because we went off. Replacing, what's they call it? Replacement
theology. Yeah.
Superstition. It's some bullshit, man. Straight up bullshit. Get Romans 11:1. I know I said we gonna close.
Romans 11:1.
Now get Isaiah 14. I still want that.
Okay.
Let's go back to the Obadiah, man, the book of Esau. Go ahead.
This is Isaiah 14:21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the faces of the world with cities.
Right. That's what we coming into. Because you are your forefather coming back, reincarnation, man. Whether you believe it or not, reincarnation is biblical, man. It's biblical.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is Romans 11:1. I say then, hath the Most High cast away his people? The Most High forbid.
Right, the Most High forbid. Hell no. We're still here. We don't die, we multiply.
That's right.
For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham.
Right, so that superstition shit is bullshit, man. That's not biblical, man. That the Lord will cast away the nation of Israel. That everybody can be saved now. It don't work like that, man. On a specific people, we're starting with the elite. Only 144,000 going to be saved, man.
Yeah, because not even all Israel can't even be saved.
Exactly.
There's a chosen within the chosen.
It's a chosen within the chosen, man.
Yeah, it says, of the tribe of Benjamin.
Yep.
The Most High hath not cast away his people, which he foreknew.
Wait, the Most High not cast away his people, which is you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native American Indians, man.
That's right.
The Most High, hey, you are Yashala. You that chosen seed, man. Above all nations, according to the face of the earth. Deuteronomy 76, man. Now jump to 26. 27.
This is Romans 11:26. It says, and so all Israel shall be saved.
Right, all Israel should be saved.
As it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob.
Keep going.
For this is my covenant unto them, when I shall take away their sins.
Wait, when he should take away their sins. Who the only nation that can sin? They can sin. Israel, man. What is sin? Transgressing of the law. Who was the law given to? Yashala. Israel. Psalm 785. We shows more than to Jacob, the laws and statutes commandments.
Not those so with any other nation.
Yeah. So the new covenant is for the nation of Israel, man.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the blessing. That's the birthright, man. Unto Jacob, man. That's why in the kingdom of heaven, we not going to go off anymore. We're going to live forever. We're not gonna die anymore. And that's why Esau hate us, man. Cause he sold that birthright. All you had to do was fast, you know? And that's why that perpetual hatred come in, man. And he trying to accomplish his own carnal birthright by chipping everybody, man. You know? You got it.
This is Hebrews chapter 8, verse 10. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. So even the new covenant that these Christians try to play off of, that saying, trying to include everybody, it's the new covenant is still only dealing with Israel. It's mentioned first in Isaiah 31 and 31. But this is in the New Testament for all you New Testament only people. It says, I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people.
Yeah, because the old covenant, you know, basically the new covenant is the same as the old covenant. The only difference is it's gonna be inside us. Just like we breathe and blink naturally, you know. That's how the new covenant is. That's how the law, statutes, commandments gonna be in us, man. That download, you know.
Shalom, Mark.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Read again.
It says, for this is the new covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord.
Yeah. That's it.
I mean, I can keep going. Verse 11, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord. For all shall know me, from the least to the greatest.
Right, because every Israelite will know the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Al-Shai. You know?
So the prophets, you know, we're going to retire soon. We won't have to come out on the highways and byways anymore and try to wake up the rebellious nation. Because everybody's going to know the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Al-Shai. They're going to know that they're Israelites. They're going to know, you know, the laws are going to be written in them, so we won't have to remind them what the law is over and over.
Yeah. We're not going to teach them the laws, statutes, commandments. We're not going to teach them the judgment of the Lord. Okay, every Israelite going to know the judgment of the Lord. It said from the least to the greatest, right? Mm-hmm. Right?
It says, for I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins, and their iniquities will I remember no more.
Exactly.
And that he saith a new covenant, he hath made the first old. Now that which decayeth and waxeth old is ready to vanish away.
Right, and this is what we're coming into. It said Esau's the end of the world, and Jacob is the end of it that follows, man. We is the end of this man's society, you know, Esau kingdom. So we coming to Jacob kingdom, you know, starting with the Lord, the Yahweh Shai kingdom, man. And that's when the new covenant gonna be in us, man. You know, that we not gonna have to go off anymore, worship other gods, you know, commit adultery, eating pork, and so on, man. You know, we gonna be on one accord. That's the new covenant, man. But it says you should wipe away all tears from the eyes, you know. So with that, I hope you was edified to go in on, you know, Jacob and Esau, you know. Once again, give our praise, this honor, glory to
Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai B'Shem Rakapadash.
No, double honors to the apostles and elders of great minister. We teach what will. Peace, love to the elect.